So, welcome to World End Wargaming. This is a review of Combat Control Magazine issue number 46. Please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to do these reviews as I receive the magazines. So, let's have a quick look inside then. Issue 46, past the halfway point. This one's just got 2 paints in it. Okay. These pop up every now and again, and they don't quite meet the sort of cover value of the magazine if all you're after is the freebies inside then, which probably a lot of people are actually doing. So we got Stonewall Silver layer paint, standard 12mm pot, and we've got Night Out Crest of Flesh. So yeah, $9.99 for 2 paints. You're not going to cover your value, I'm afraid. So in Warhammer, buying it direct, it's going to cost you £6.45. Third-party stores, if you're walking in, it's going to be £5.49. If you're ordering online, you're going to have to pay postage and packaging. However, inside the magazine, though, it talks more about your painting techniques. So you moved on from your layering and your washes. Now they're talking about highlighting. So it does tell you how to use your brush, using the edge of the brush then for the sharper edges of the model, and showing a little diagram here of the Terminator. It's yellowed out in each one of the diagrams where your brush should be, and it tells you what to do if you put a bit too much pressure on. You're going to get a little splodge kind of happening there in that last box. Get a bit closer. There you can see it. You put too much pressure on your brush when you're coming down the edge. Cause the splodge. You're going to either wipe that away, wick it away with some more with a wet brush, or you're going to have to reapply the base coat and then start again. Then it talks about highlighting with the tip of your brush on more rounded edges, more natural sort of organic edges then, where you need a bit more control. Also talks about metallics and the fact that they do dry up a little bit quicker than your standard paints, and then it goes into highlighting faces. You're going to have good brush control here and a nice point in your brush to be able to get these small details. So how to paint goes through all your marine models so far, the colour that it's used in there and where it needs to be applied. It continues to move through the different marines that we've received over the initial issues. The first 10 issues was majority of marines, and then spread over the first 20 issues, I should say, was marines and the Tyranids. That should tell you where you should be then with your edge highlighting of your marines. Then it's going to move on to your Aeldari. It's going to go through each one of them, showing you where you should be highlighting them. And that runs through the Aeldari figures. So moving on then, a bit more Orc lore, a bit brutal and cunning about sort of the background of the Orc faction, fleshing that out a little bit for us. And then flipping over, we've got a little bit more sort of the various sort of war machines and sort of things that orcs utilise then. So Huge and Stompy, their mechanical contraptions, the squiggly beasts then, the squig hogs, and bigger is better. So basically going that the Gretchens are the smallest, and then as orcs have become bigger, they become more powerful. The only war, which is the sort of a basic mission that you can play, starts running through that, and then we go into the individual combat patrol rules for the Aeldari. Flipping that, talks of the enhancements, it talks of your secondary objectives, and I think it talks of some stratagems as well. Now we go on a little bit further, so it talks through each one of these. Only the leader of your combat patrol size mission can take an enhancement. It can only take one of these 2 enhancements, so you pick one before you start the game and then let your opponent know that's the one you picked, and then you can play that through then. Then with your secondary objectives, again, you pick one of those, whichever one you feel that you're going to be able to achieve during the course of the game, and then you score victory points as appropriate for each one of the different objectives there as your secondary objective. And then we shall probably flip over, and so it's stratagems, and talking, they got 3 different stratagems you can use here, which are sort of unique to the Aeldari then, in addition to your stratagems, which are your core rule stratagems. Then we move on to the Chaos Space Marines, talking about the faction abilities there. and it just runs through the rules of that, how it's put into play. So you're going to either get lethal hits or you're going to get sustained hits there when you do perform your Dark Pact. Unfortunately, with the Dark Pact, you have to do a leadership roll at the end of it, and if you fail your leadership roll, that unit will take D3 mortal wounds. So there are risks to it as well. This is explaining how the sort of the lethal hits are applied and the sustained hits are applied there. What's before and all it, and then at the end it takes the leadership test, and if in this instance it's failed the leadership test, and it shows that it has you have to receive mortal wounds then, because of it's 2. There's rolled a 3 there, so you're taking 2 mortal wounds. 1 and a 2 is 1 mortal wound, 2 and a 3 is 2 mortal wounds and a 3, and a 5 and a 6 would be 3 mortal wounds. Looking at the back of the cover then, and the next 2 issues, 47 and 48, is going to be those 3 death copters. Yeah, that's about it in that one. Nice little guide on painting then, if you've never done your edge highlighting or anything before, so it is kind of worth it. Please like and subscribe, guys. I'm going to continue doing these, and could drop a comment if you want me to do anything different other than these videos, or if you want me to explore something a bit more within the magazines. Cheers, guys.